Salam alaikum, welcome to Football Focus UAE. This is episode 14, game week 19. We're back here today at the Emirates Club, Russell Kmart, so thank you very much for you guys hosting. There's some huge games at the top, huge games at the bottom, goals galore, penalties, sendings off. You can't miss this show. Enjoy.
Okay, let's look at our first game here. You've chosen Al Jazeera Shabab Al Ahly.
Well,
Tell us all why.
Well, I've chosen obviously this game because there's two very, very good teams. Al Jazeera fighting for the title. Shabab are improving week by week. We know how good they've been defensively. They've always struggled to score, but they've turned that around a little bit in the last probably month or so since the new manager's come in.
They're doing great. I mean, remember seven draws.
Yeah. But they've just improved that. They've turned that around. Yeah. So I chose this one because it's a good game. It shows good examples of some great defensive setup from both teams and some really good attacking.
But before that, Iain, I mean, Iain's pretty knowledgeable on football here in the UAE. How did they turn it round? What did the new manager bring in? I think we spoke about it a little bit.
Well, like we mentioned, they've always been very, very strong in defence. But going forward, I think they relied too much on defence. They were very good at getting compact, getting everyone behind the ball. But going forward, they didn't have many ideas. And he's just incorporated a lot of sort of one-touch football, moving the ball quickly, slowing the game down, speeding the game up, different types of transitions. So instead of just playing one pace all the time, they'll draw a slow build up, and suddenly they'll attack quickly, or they'll attack quick, slow attack. And it just means that defenders are difficult to get hold of.
Yeah, okay, and the high pressing game as well. I've noticed to do when you're in. Their half, the half pressing.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll see that some examples of that. Okay, sorry, I just thought that's that.
No, that's it. But it's two great managers in the league. I think two of the probably the best managers in the league going head to head.
Absolutely.
And on this day, Shabab could beat anybody, and they really have started to improve.
He has really turned things around.
But we'll just stop it there very, very quickly.
It took it a while to get the goal, the first goal. The chances were there,
but because they're two well-disciplined teams, like I say, we're going to stop it here because of the compactness of the defence. Look how well they're set up. We've got a straight bank of four there, in line. The other four here, three surrounding the ball. We've got 15, he's open to the play here, he knows what's around him. 12's opened his body up so he can see what's going to if he has to go in there. That's a really good example of how they are disciplined.
And you've got to be with this guy, Ali
That's it, and they're happy. You can shoot from out, 20 yards. That's not possible.
It's going to take something special to be their goalkeeper, international as well.
Again, slight defensive mistake. Great little through ball here, and to be honest, a lot of strikers, as they cut across the defender, would have gone down. Would have looked for the penalty. Didn't. He's tried to stem his feet, which he has done, and the defender's got
fantastic block. That was a goal.
So it's nice to see that really, because like I say, 9 times out of 10 a defender would go down here.
Yeah, it is.
But again, really good defensive shape. Look at the compactness here. Quite often we've seen a lot of the weaker teams, they'll have a defender out here or a defender out here and huge amounts of space in it, but they're so tight, it makes it very, very difficult.
But I noticed that they're very offensive here at Shabab Al Ahly. They've got 7 players, so we've got people to name for.
Yeah, but going back probably 6 or 7 weeks ago, that wouldn't have happened. They probably would have had the front two players here, and this player would have been back more defensive because they're more reliant on the clean sheet. So it's really, really good to see. But a good little ball out wide.
Igor, he's playing well at the moment.
Yeah, he's a good player, isn't he? But he gets into good pockets of space. But first half, a little bit cagey, that we expect.
Because they're two of the best defences in the league. I'm going to expect that.
They've almost cancelled each other out a little bit. But as the play rolls forward, again, really good defensive shape from Al Jazeera, and it just creates a little bit of magic.
It needed a little bit of magic here. This goal here was a
beautiful little flick, and then a superb finish on his left foot by Eduardo. An absolute great finish.
And a good assist from Igor.
Yeah, it's really good.
He's only a young boy, 19 years old. He's been a great signing this year from Brazil.
But what we talked about at the start, slowing the play down, then suddenly, when they feel the time's right, bang, they've gone at pace. As you see here, one touch, ball in, little flick, great finish, and he's just used that last defender just to bend it round if some keeper's onside.
Something special to score
Really good
today
goal,
because even
really
the
good
defence
goal.
were there.
And then Al Jazeera obviously now pushing for that equaliser, which they need. Great little touch, good save by the keeper, makes a good recovery save, and again, bodies behind the ball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players inside the 18-yard box. That's why they're not conceding. They don't concede goals too often because they're there, they're back in numbers, and they fight for the ball and make sure that it doesn't go in the net.
Yeah, and they've got a good goalkeeper as well.
Yeah, really good. And that's the difference. That's why early on they were drawing so many goals. Again, the commitment. I know there's 2 or 3 players going for the same ball, but they want the ball. They want to get an end of it.
What happened here? Was that a free kick or was it just a silly number?
It looks
50?
from the initial naked eye, I didn't think it was. But when you look at the replay here, just pushes him a little bit. He's gone down easy, but he has pushed him. But he's playing him straight into the defender. There's no need to. This defender's going to step in and hopefully deal with it. And if not, you've got another defender coming this way. He just got overzealous. He's gone in,
and then he got overzealous with the referee, and then he got a bit too much of this.
Then he got a bit too vocal. As we can see here, silly really.
Yeah.
He's got too vocal. That's a red card.
Then this is unshababa. We were talking about Iain and I. What happened here?
Well, a good example is watch the goalkeeper.
Iain's a goalkeeper, former goalkeeper.
This tells the whole story. Watch the goalkeeper and his reactions here. So once this wall moved across, he's banging on the post, he's demanding this wall's getting across, and they're not paying any attention. Eventually, they switched on. Okay. They drift across, but they still don't drift off enough for me. They don't get across enough.
Okay. This is another thing.
So the guy goes in here, because there's been too many goals, haven't there, where the wall jumps and they slide it straight under the wall. And it beats him. But
that wasn't the problem here.
No.
Because they get a goal here.
This is it. This is the equaliser.
I was shocked when I saw this.
So as we roll it in.
Look at the wall here. What I mean?
Well, it just breaks down. And as you see it, we'll watch it from the reverse side. I thought initially it went through the wall, but it doesn't.
All the players just move, don't they?
You see, I think they show an angle from behind.
I mean, look at that. From there, it should be there, wouldn't it? From originally there.
So they've just shifted again across, and it's terrible. That's poor defending. Like I said, it's unlike them. The keeper was demanding to get the ball in the right place. He didn't get it right. So it's partly the goalkeeper's fault, but it's partly the defender's fault as well because they weren't listening to him. And that's a goal they shouldn't have conceded. And
I was telling Iain, I've seen Milo Kasanovic, he scored some fantastic free kicks. Yeah. I think that's goal number 6 this season for him.
Yeah.
And 4 of them have been free kicks.
But, it was, first half again, like we said, was very, very cagey, which was always going to be with the two defensive teams that are set out there.
But a fair result, Iain, what do you think?
I think a fair result. Both teams are very, very good. Obviously, Al Jazeera top of the league. Shabad week on week getting better and better. It's a shame for them this manager wasn't at the start of the season because I think they would have perhaps been up to possibly 3rd or 4th challenging. But they're where they should be. Al Jazeera again looking strong. A fair result. I think at the end of the day, I think both teams would have taken a point for the game.
I totally agree. Thanks for that, Iain. Great analysis. Okay, let's move on to our next game. Okay, we're going to look at our next game, Corfagan against Al Dhafra. And I have to say, I was there, I was commentating. It's one of the best games I've ever commentated on. I was just saying to Iain, I had many things prepared to talk about, but it was just full of goals. It was just goal after goal, Iain, and it never stopped. And it was a really good game to commentate. But we'll have a look at it, Iain.
Yeah, let's go.
You think of Corfagan, they're a good football team here. They've got 5 Brazilians. So from the midfield onwards, Brazilians like to keep the ball. Yeah. They like to play football, the South American way. And when they're on form, these Brazilians, they're unplayable. They really are unplayable. And you'll see that today. I don't know what it is, Iain. I did my research and they just clicked that particular day. And they destroyed. They didn't beat Al Dhafra. They destroyed them. They could have been 8 goals. I'm not exaggerating. One-on-ones where they missed open goals. So it was a cracking game. Iain, I don't know what's happened to Al Dhafra.
It must be, if you're an Al Dhafra fan, you must be,
well, what's going on?
Exactly. You don't, from one game to the next, or 1 week to the next, you don't know what's going to get. On their day, they could beat almost everybody.
And they've made silly decisions like giving, what's his name, João Pedro to Banyas, or put him on loan. well, let's save some money. But look where they are in the league. They're not going to go down, Iain.
No.
But they're in a place where the fans won't be happy, obviously.
Yeah, and I think the problem is with them. They show glimpses of what a good team they can be. And then they throw performances like this. And it's so frustrating.
So I'm thinking they're coming into here in this game with a bit of confidence, but from literally minute one, the first goal, a lucky goal. It all started off, you'll see a lucky goal, but a good bit of play. There's a Brazilian, 2 Brazilians playing. There's another Brazilian. The ball comes to Rafael, shoots it, it's deflected. A lucky goal, and we're only into this 3rd minute. So I'm thinking, okay, lucky goal. Maybe Al Dafra will come out and then and do the business. But no, look at this goal, beautiful goal. There we can see one Brazilian, Paulino, comes to Rafael. Not a good first touch, but he volleyed it into bottom corner. Goalkeeper had no chance. And as I said in my commentary, Al Dafra, you need to wake up, guys, and smell the coffee. What a fantastic goal. But it didn't end there, Iain. So I'm thinking Al Dafra will come out second half. No, it was a Brazilian show again. There we see Bruno Lamas comes in. This is a fantastic Ramon. They just picked him apart. Ian. Just give me your advice on that, Iain, because where is Al Dafra here?
Well, on the back foot, aren't they? As you can see from it, every Al Dafra, if you just roll it properly, every Al Dafra player is chasing the ball. Instead of the ball coming onto them, they're running after the ball, running after the attackers. They've gone too high up the pitch. Lamas has just played a lovely slide ball through, and they're playing catch up. And of course, then they can't make a challenge because they're from behind.
Good point, Iain. And I don't know about you if you watched the game. To me, it seemed like Al Dafra, the defence were clueless. They had no idea what they're doing. The tactics were wrong they came with. And once they got a couple of goals, Iain, as you always said, their heads went down. As soon as they went 3-0, their heads went down. And then it would just floodgates open. I just want you to enjoy the goals. However, they did. I thought that was maybe a free kick, but the referee allowed play. This is a great goal. Diop, he's been brought in. He's a new striker, and he's got 4 goals now in I think 6 games. Been a great signing for him. And I thought, maybe here. And I noticed that if you notice after this game, you watch the highlights, Kofakan got a little bit nervous. And Al Dafra were kind of picking things up. Then this happened. What a fantastic goal. You got Dodi there, picks up the ball, plays it to Ramon, and he plays an absolute pinpoint cross to Paulino. As I said in my commentary, as we say in England, he put it on a sixpence for him. It wasn't offside. Maybe the linesman needs glasses because he was a yard. He's a yard onside. It's quite tough. So how he got offside there, I've no idea, Iain. I mean, it was. Look at this ball from Ramon.
That's perfect. Perfect.
I mean,
to dissect,
like you said,
those two defenders.
But there was chasing, like you said, in the defence were chasing.
We can't see it from here, but the defender on the line who was trying to get back, he saw that coming from 20 yards further back. He looked across, saw the defender, saw the attacker going, but he just couldn't keep up with him.
And I think what else he did, he thought, this guy's going to shoot. He's going to go for the goal. And then it picked it up. And they've got some international players, Al Dafra.
Yeah.
We're going to interview a player when COVID improves. He's Masoud Suleiman Al Hamadi, and he's an international Emirati player, but you wouldn't think so.
But again, here, this is an example of Al Dafra got numbers back, 3, 6, 7, but
that wasn't the problem.
There's no shape or formation.
No, they were just kind of didn't know what they were doing.
You've got these two, I don't know what they're doing here. This guy here has got to be across here central, he's got to come in here, then this guy's out of the equation. Here they just all had a hock. We've got number 8 in here. 40 can deal with 20, he can come and sit in there. If he sits there, then that's absolutely fine.
And this is a guy who scores Joseph, being brought on as a substitute. It was a positive one. You'll see he'll score. I mean, you'll see he's on his own. But with 2 players around him, look at that ball.
Yeah, it's a superb ball, isn't it? An 18.
Where's these 2 guys doing what they're doing here? I mean, he had.
Look. That's a prime example.
They were clueless.
If we can go, if
it's replay, I think it'll replay, yeah.
Just too far. But you saw before the defender there telling the other guy, putting his arm out, you mark him. But he wasn't strong enough. He did say to him, you've got to mark him, Pick him up, up. But you shouldn't have to. There. They've got to take responsibility for their own actions.
And really, it It was Corsican on the day. We've said it before, Iain. They won Al Jazeera, beat them not 1-0. They beat them 3-0, and it was a cracking game to watch. So on the day, Corsican, watch out. I think they're a team for next season can do really, really well, especially in the cups. They're not going to win the league, but I think they can do really, really well with these Brazilians that they've brought in.
I agree, absolutely.
All right, that's my analysis. Thanks, Iain. Thanks for your input. Appreciate it. Let's move on to our next game. Okay, looking at our next game, Iain. Calvert, our team, versus Banyas.
Well, Banyas, we know they're playing well, aren't they? Week in, week out, and they're putting in some really, really quality performances. Calvert have been a bit inconsistent probably the last sort of month. They had that brilliant run from there about 8 weeks ago, consistently winning or drawing. They were undefeated for a long period of time. Last month they've been a little bit up and down. We mentioned it before the transfer window, they were getting a bit tired. They brought in some new players, which has reinvigorated them. But they're up against a very, very strong Banyas team.
It needed something special to beat Banyas because they're on a fantastic run at the moment.
They really are.
And they remind me of Manchester United. They just don't give up.
No, absolutely not.
They don't ever think they're going to lose.
No, they don't at all. But here's the first opportunity for Calvert, pressing forward. But again, if we just hold it there, look at the Banyas defence. They've got a solid back four, flat across there. They've got 2 holding midfielders there. It's very, very, very difficult.
It's going to take some special bit of magic.
All the players in the right places. And the resulting in Calvert having a shot from outside the box. And it was a good strike and a good save.
New signing as well, a very good Brazilian. Banyas' first chance, or was it a goal, Iain?
In it comes, another good save. So there's 2 good opportunities for both teams at the start. But Calvert set up really, really well, and that was pretty much the tale of the
We've
first
always
half.
said that Calvert are a well-organised, disciplined team, and play as a team, don't they?
I think that's the big thing, that they're a good unit, aren't they?
Yeah.
They know they're not the world's greatest team, but they are a really good team, cohesive team.
And they work to the strengths, as you've always said.
Exactly, that's it.
They don't try to be Al Jazeera.
No, but at times, a brilliant ball through, great goalkeeping, stood up as long as he possibly could, and then another good example here of Calvert back in numbers. We've just missed the freeze there, but you can see the number of yellow shirts even behind the ball.
Here's a man in the moment.
And then, unfortunately, a moment of madness. Pleading for the referee, claiming he's got the ball.
Mohamed Sabil got a great goal.
He did get the ball, but we can see there from me frozen it. It's both feet off the ground, 2 footed straight through, and very, very lucky that he's not caused a serious injury there. It's very, very poor defending.
Silly challenge,
Yeah, absolutely no need.
From a very experienced defender.
Yeah.
Very experienced. And I think that cost him the game.
It did. It's not going to help, is it? You've got 30 minutes still to go, you're playing against 10 men, and when Banyas move it around as well as they do, it's very, very difficult. Lucky there, ball ricocheting between the 2 or 3 players. Again, but goalkeeping error. If we look at this now, we'll watch the replay here.
He got his hand, but he's trying to do something special.
He was looking for a camera save, wasn't he? Just trying to flick it over, get his legs up as high as he could, instead of just doing the best he could. But this was superb. The way he's chopped back on his right, and then almost in the same motion, crossed it with his left foot. It's absolutely brilliant, and it's just pinpoint. As you can see, the keeper's got a huge hand on it.
And he's tried to do something like that.
Just not enough.
Again, he's a linchpin, isn't he, João Pedro?
Yeah.
And he just everything goes through him.
It does. Again, good numbers back for Calvert, but as it comes out, they've done well again. So they defend really well in numbers, but then watch this.
You can't do anything against that. Goal of the day. Who's this guy?
You're just going to hold your hands up there and say, look, that's a absolutely wonderful strike. As we said, great example then from Calvert, getting back in numbers, getting people behind the ball. But as he's got this out of his feet, he's just absolutely whipped that.
And it's in the corner.
The keeper's got no chance. That's Jimenez, just absolutely no chance.
Can we put that goal in at the end, Sam?
Yeah, nothing's beating that, Sam. Wonderful, wonderful strike.
Top corner, top class, as I always say. Yeah.
And I think the red card was the turning point. Like I said, 73rd minute.
Because he's got them well organised, well playing, and they they were holding Banyas.
Yeah, it was a well matched game till that sending off in the 73rd minute, and then as you can see, 75th, 80th, and you're not going to come back from that through 10 men. So it's disappointing because he didn't need to make that challenge.
No, he didn't. Not 2-footed. And Mohamed Sabil, he got a great goal last week.
Yeah, so he'll be disappointed. He'll know that he's let the team down, but I'm sure Calvert will bounce back from that. And Banyas is the juggernaut keeps rolling.
If they keep João Pedro fit, they've got a good chance of doing something.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, thanks, Iain. We're going to look at the rest of the games. Okay. So the first game we're going to look at, Iain, is I'm going to talk about Ajman versus Al Wahda. I mean, not so much a big game for Al Wahda, but definitely for Ajman. They started to play a little bit better. Iain.
Yeah.
They started to win, started to get some points, and every game for Ajman at the moment, I think you say, Iain, is a cup final.
It is. They've got to win, haven't they? They need points. It's so tight at the bottom now. Hatta, Ajman, Fujairah are all within touching distance of each other. So every game they need to get points. A draw is a minimum. And
I've got to say, in this game, you could see that in Ajman. They scrapped for every point, and to me, it wasn't Ajman got a point. It was more Al Wahda gave it away. I mean, if you'll watch the games, you can see it in the highlights as it happened. Al Wahda were 3-1 up with not long to play, and somehow they lost the game. It was I think it sums up Al Wahda's season. They're not losing,
no,
but they're just not getting the results. And results like this, they should be producing in and getting them up the table.
In terms of being sort of the Ajman fan or a manager, it's kind of frustrating and good at the same point. If they'd shown this fight and this determination,
they really are.
8 weeks ago, they probably wouldn't be in this position.
Yeah,
but at least they are showing it now, and they want to stay in the league. They're doing everything they possibly can. So that's positive.
And as you've always said as well, Iain, they're keeping faith in their manager. Al-Hamadi is, and it's starting to pay off. You'll see in the games, if they lose a game, they've lost not because they didn't play 100% into the game. It's more they lost because they were unlucky, or the team were better.
It's almost as if they sort of had a reset, isn't it? They got together as a unit and said, we'll start the season now. Forget what's gone on in the past. This is where to start. This is what we're going to do, and we're going to do everything we can to make sure we stay in the league. And they're doing it.
They are, and I made a few notes. I mean, it was this game had absolutely everything in it. Al Wahda were the better team by far. They had 60% of the possession. They had more shots on goal than Ajman. But end of the day, they only got a point, and Ajman got a vital point. And it was a thrilling end to end. It was just it was happening all the time. And I've got to say, Al Wahda fans, you should be reflecting on the fact how did we lose this game? What happened? And it's really hard to say. But you scored in 6 minutes. In the first 6 minutes, it was a bit of a scrappy goal. As you can see, Ismail Matar, he kind of bundled the ball over the line and got the goal. And then Ajman's Abdullah Salah levelled up at the half-hour mark. Then Tim Matavez regained the Clarets' lead, Al Wahda's lead, with a beautiful header. I think that's goal number 7 for a defender, which is a fantastic return. And then it looked like game, set and match to me. If I was commentating on this game, I would have said game over. Go make yourself a cup of tea, because Omar Khari, who scored a wonderful goal the other week, extended their lead in the 63rd minute. So we've got 20 minutes to play. They're 3-2 up. They're dominating the game. They dominated possession. But then the manager, Ayman's men, clawed their way back into it. And again, the new signing, I like this player. He's called Diego Jardel. Very experienced player, played all over the place. He converted a penalty. It was a silly penalty. Boubacar Traore, you like him, from on loan from Shabab in Saudi Arabia. He got the ball, got into the penalty. We see it a lot here. These silly penalties given away. He just bundled the player over, and he didn't need to. He had him covered to me, but he just bundled him over. And they won a penalty, and Jardel steps him, and then it really was squeaky bum time for Al Wahda. It really was, Iain, and it picked up Ajman. You can see in the game, it picked him up. They thought we can get something out of this game, and they had the chances. And it was Boubacar Traore got a fantastic goal, a header, brought them back into the game in the 83rd minute. Then it was again, it was still end-to-end stuff. But just to let you know, they lost. They surrendered a 2-goal lead. It's their 7th draw. Their second draw. They're on 29 points, but this is a good result because it brought Iceman out of the relegation zone.
Yeah.
And Fajira have gone down into the relegation zone, but we'll look at Fajira later. But a good game to watch for any neutral. And I was commentating on the other game, but every time I looked, there was a goal. And when it was 3-1, I thought, Iceman, game over.
Yeah.
But great, well done, Iceman.
Yeah.
Excellent, come back.
Like I say, I like Tirali. I think he's an awkward player, isn't he? He reminds me a little bit of sort of Canu, who used to play for Arsenal. He's very tall, slender. He's very tricky on the ball, and difficult to get hold of, and easier to foul. You know, people are going for the ball. He shifts the ball very quickly, and he's been a real eye opener for him. He's been a good signing for him.
Yes, he's done well. He's done really well. Okay, let's move on to our next game. Iain, it's you.
Yes, so we're down the bottom. Hatter.
Yeah, versus Fajira.
Well,
huge 6 points of the season.
Yeah. Both teams desperate for points, and wasn't the most attractive game you could ever see. There was it was end-to-end stuff. Both teams had chances. Hatter looked the better team. They had 11 chances compared to Fajira's 6.
Fajira had the better part of the possession. They're a good passing team.
Yeah, but they didn't look great. I didn't think their formation didn't suit for them. They seemed to be out of shape a lot of the times. Hatter played quite a nice counter-attacking game, which Fajira was struggling to deal with. Again, quite often they're on the back foot, running back towards the goal, trying to catch up instead of facing the players that's coming on. And Hatter probably deserved the win, really.
I thought he deserved the win. They had even had a player sent off, didn't they?
They had a player sent off, I think, in about the 70th minute. And again, you would have thought then perhaps Fajira could have stamped their authority on the game. But again, they didn't. They're just completely out of sorts at the moment. And Hatter just kept going. They got a soft penalty, but it was taken very nicely. And overall, Hatter did deserve the win. But
what's happened to Fajira? They brought this new manager. You would have thought players were playing better. They want to play for the new manager.
It's just not. It's not.
For
me, it's not. It's just not right at all. Previously, Goran, wasn't it?
Goran from Corsican brought him.
We mentioned before that he was trying to get them to play some decent football. He was getting to play the ball
out from the back. Results here.
We just mentioned perhaps they didn't have the personnel, the quality of personnel to play the formation and the style of play he wanted to play.
I thought they might have given him the January transfer window, give him a chance like Iceman did.
But they looked better then, I thought, than they do now.
Yeah, they do.
And it's worrying times, and with Fajira won't be happy.
Iain, I've watched them twice. I'm watching them tomorrow against Al Jazeera, but I watched them against Corsican at home, and they didn't look good.
No.
But I watched them against Al Wahda and the other teams when Goran was there. They looked good. They're playing well. They really tried, but I don't know.
No, but they're in this dogfight now, aren't they? It's them, Hatter, Ajman, and at the moment they don't look as though they're the team that wants to stay in the league the most.
And they've lost against the bottom two, Ajman and now Hatter.
Yeah.
With this new manager.
Yeah.
He should have won that.
It's not looking good.
No, it's painful watching for Fajira fans.
Absolutely.
And well done to Hatter. What a great win and a much needed win. It gives them a fighting chance.
Yeah, they're still in the fight, aren't they?
What do you think? I think Fajira now and Hatter are going to go down.
Yeah, I think it will still be Hatter definitely, and Ajman have got that little bit more about them at the moment for Fajira. So
they're playing for the manager.
Yeah, so unfortunately it's not looking good for Fajira.
No. Fajira fans, we apologise for that. Okay, let's move on to our next game. Iain, last one, Al Nassr versus Sharjah. I mean, this was billed as the game of the week. I don't know what's happened to Nassr and Sharjah. Where are the guys, fans? Where are these two teams gone? This was a chance to maybe springboard into something better.
Yeah.
And Al Nassr came on top. And I've got to say, even though the possession was 50-50, Al Nassr deserved to win. You can see the game as it's happening here. The big difference for me, Al Nassr were at home, they took advantage of that, and attacking wise they were far superior. I've got down here, Al Nassr had 22 shots on goal compared to Sharjah's 18. This is your team.
My old team, yeah.
They've got some great players in there.
We've got some exceptional players.
Yeah, one shot on goal on target.
Yeah. I think a lot of it, stems from back to the cup final. When they lost the cup final, they went into that game playing a really sort of defensive, counter-attacking game. They just invited the play on, and just wanted to score by counter-attack, and it didn't work. And I was sort of surprised watching because that's kind of one of the first times they've done that. They're a much more aggressive team, taking the game to the opposition.
Yeah. They've got the players to do that.
For some reason, in that final, they decided to go opposite.
That's a calibre
and they looked really solid. And of course, it was only in the injury time the goal was scored, but they didn't create chances, and they just seemed to have carried it on. They've got some of the best attacking midfielders, attackers in the league.
Athletic, and physically.
Coronado, Wellington, they've just got to get the ball into Coronado with a bit of space and he'll cause the problems. But for some reason, they're not doing that, and their form has dipped. They're not scoring up till now the amount of goals they were scoring. They're not creating enough chances.
As you can see,
and if
8 shots here,
conceding 20-odd chances is appalling.
Really, when I'm looking at the stats
that's not the form of a team who are sitting in second. You wouldn't see Al Jazeera coming with those sort of stats.
No,
or Banyas for that matter.
It's not good reading because this is a team challenging for the title. They are the champions.
Yeah.
And it's disappointing, and they've got a good man in the Emirati, the first Emirati Abdulaziz to win the UAE Pro League. But the first chance came in the 36th minute. Al Nassr hit the crossbar. Then they hit the crossbar again from Sabah. Then they had a free kick, and it was a silly. Sharjah gave his free kick away at the edge of the corner of the 18-yard box. Then the free kick, it was direct. The goalkeeper saved it. It was a bit unlucky because he saved it onto the post. Yeah. Flew back, and there's Taglabul to slot it in the back of the net. Then Al Nassr more shots on Sharjah's goal, and then Shukrov made a shot onto another shot, and then Sabah another shot, then Mendes. So all these shots, and they're hitting crossbars, hitting the post. The goalkeeper was pulling out good saves, and then Sharjah scored. They played again with Ricardo spoke. Was it Mendes? Played brilliant for Al Nassr. Got a fantastic assist. He had a shot, and then he assisted Taglabul, and he scored. And then Iain, nothing much happened. Nassr kind of one of the meanest defences, took shot. Yeah. Sharjah didn't do much. I was looking for things to talk about. I see it in the highlights here, but I didn't find anything. It was disappointing, especially billed as a big game, Sharjah against Dubai. And I don't know, Iain, Sharjah's your team.
Yeah, well, they need to get out of this slump, don't they? They need to get out of it quickly. They need to go back to the way they were playing at the start of the season. They need to think about what got them those sort of 8 or 9 games unbeaten. How they played.
They look phenomenal.
They did, and no one could touch them. No one could touch them, and so they need to rediscover that form. And they're not playing the same formation, not playing the same style of play that they were doing back then for whatever reason. So they need to change it up.
And I think this it's not a blip anymore. This run has cost them maybe the league.
Yeah, the way, like we said before, the way Al Jazeera could just keep trading out the points. Banyas are playing some exceptional football. And Sharjah are just teetering there or thereabouts still. They're still in the shout, but they need to turn around very, very quickly. For them, the next 2 games can be very, very important. They need 6 points.
Let us know what you think as well. We enjoy your comments. But let's finish off here, and let's have a look at the.
We've got Elaine Al-Wassel just to talk about before we go.
Yes. Elaine, I was saying to Iain, and I don't. What is it with Elaine and Al-Wassel? It's just we spoke about. It's just been one of them seasons.
Yeah,
Let's blame it on COVID-19.
Yeah, it was a hugely entertaining game. It was action from one end to the other. Both teams played some really, really attractive football.
Lima didn't have his shooting boots on.
Him and Labo, you expect to score goals. That both had a chance at either end. Who didn't put that away. They both had chances right at the end of the game to score the win. They didn't do it on another day. They both would have scored them. But it was a great game to watch. They played some really, really nice football. The transitions from defence to midfield was really, really good. The quality of passing was good. They just weren't clinical. They just didn't have that sort of fox in the box, knowing to put the ball in the back of the net. It just didn't happen this week. 1-1 was a fair result.
I agree. It could have been more, but 1-1 was a good result. Let us know what you think. All right, we'll now move on to Iain, our predictions. So let's have a look at our predictions. So don't forget, we're a little bit ahead of ourselves. We're gonna. Can we blame COVID-19 as well?
Might as well.
So we're going for COVID-19. So we're on game week 21. All right. So first game, Iain, Al Wassel versus Ajman. I mean, Al Wassel, it depends we've always said which team's going to turn up.
I think that's a tough one to call. I think it's going to be a very, very tight game. Like we said before, Ajman are, for me, improving every week. Al Wassel haven't really got anything to play for. So it wouldn't surprise me if Ajman get something.
Get something out of it. I'll go for an Al Wassel 2-1 win myself. Al Jazeera versus Fijian. I'm at this match. I mean, I'm going to go for a 3-4-0 win. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's funny that Al Jazeera seem to struggle a little bit against the weaker teams. The teams down the bottom, they don't seem to quite get the results. I think every time we've had these games, I've sort of said be 4-0, 5-0.
Calva, I mean, they stuffed them 6-0. And Calva are a good team. Then they go against Hatta and win 1-0.
1-0. I don't know what it is. Whether they just take their. I can't imagine them taking their foot off the gas.
Complacency, maybe.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought so too. They just seem to struggle a little bit, but it's going to be an Al Jazeera win. Bad news for Fijian.
Yeah, it is. They're going to win, and they are the team of the month. Marcel won in February, the manager of the month. Ali Mabkout won the player of the month as well. So they're firing on all cylinders. Corsican versus Hatta.
Great game. It's going to be.
If Corsican win, they have solidified. They're in. They're in. So I think they're going to go into win.
Oh, absolutely. They'll be looking for the 3 points. Again, I think this is a game that potentially Hatta could identify as a 3-pointer. Like we say, Corsican are really good going forward, but again, they can be a little bit frail at the back, so it could go either way. It could be a crazy result, it could be 2-0 Hatta, or it could be 4-0 Corsican. It's just who turns up on the day. And
give me a prediction.
I think the early goal is going to be the key. Whoever gets the early goal will win it. And I think it might be Corsican.
Yeah, I'm going to go for Corsican because I saw him play the other day. They were phenomenal. Shabab Al Ahly versus Sharjah, another big game. Sharjah churning out these big games. It's a tough run.
Yeah, they had a tough run over the last.
I think if they win this one, it could really pick them up. And but Shabab Al Ahly, the two Emirati managers playing against each other,
be good, won't it? You've got national pride on the stake there. They both are playing good football. Sharjah need it. They're desperate.
Who's going to win?
Draw.
I'm rooting for the Shabab Al Ahly win. I'm sorry. Okay, then we have Tuesday, 16th of March. Al Dhafra versus Al Wahda, local derby. Nothing really to play for.
No,
just pride.
And I'd be surprised if anyone's watching. To be honest, they're up and down, aren't they? Both teams. They're not the most entertaining.
No,
and that's the problem.
Of the two, Al Wahda the better team.
Yeah, Al Dhafra again extremely consistent. Really, they're probably the biggest team in the league to be up and down. You just really don't know from one week to the next. So I would say possibly an Al Wahda win or a draw.
Yeah, I'm waiting for an Al Wahda win. Al Nassr versus Etihad Kalba. Al Nassr need a win to have a slim chance. Still have a chance.
I think it'd be a good game of football. I think
Kalba are a tough team to beat.
They are. They've got big guys up front.
Grind out results, don't they?
Yeah, we looked on the TV, didn't they, on the highlights there, how well disciplined they are. The formation they're playing is very, very good. They're very, very compact. I think it'll be a tough game. I think there's only one goal in it, and I'm going to go 1-0 Calvin.
Wow, really? I'm waiting for an Al Nassr win. 2-1. I think they'll win. And another local derby, Al Ain versus Banyas. Al Ain, I mean, they're not going to win the league, but there'll be a bit of pride in there. It's a local derby. Banyas need to win to put pressure, because we know Al Jazeera are going to win, to keep in touch with Al Jazeera. It's a big game for Banyas.
Yeah, both good ball playing teams, aren't they? They like to get the ball down, they like to move it quickly. It'll be a good game to watch. And again, I think
they both need the result.
I think the early goal is going to be key. Whoever can get that early goal, if they can get João Pedro on the into something, he'll put that away. I think Banyas will do it again. I think it'll be low scoring, so maybe 1-0 Banyas.
They never give up, never die. They're just really going well. Okay, thanks for that, Iain.
No worries.
All right, and we got our goal of the week. It's a fantastic goal, chosen by myself and Iain.
It's forward Awana, still not clear. Oh my goodness! Nicolas Jimenez, that is an absolute stunning finish. You just do not save them. That is a contender, not only for goal of the weekend, goal of the week, goal of the month. It is a contender for goal of the season.
Thank you everybody for listening. Thanks to the Emirates Club as always. They've been fantastic. To Adele who organises the Major List for us. And we really appreciate it, Adele. Thanks to our cameraman and Sam. We did have Ricardinho, but he's sick. But I'm hoping to bring some different people in. We've got an American guy coming in when the school holidays. He's called Thomas. He watches the Pro League here and enjoys it. He's going to come in and analyse the game for us, and maybe some other people. Yeah, over the holidays it'd be nice to do that, especially we've got 6 games left us.
Yeah, we need
6 games. It's getting close.
It's going to be a very tight run-in. One thing I would say is comment. We need comments. We need you guys to speak to us, interact with us, tell us what you want to hear, and we'll go out there and find it.
Especially our students. Our students watch it as well, Iain.
Yeah.
Please, Shabab, please make a comment. And I mean, this show goes all over the world: Thailand, Colombia, the different parts of Africa. Make a comment. We really appreciate it. Ring the bell and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks for myself, Tony, and
thanks, guys. Masalama.
Salama. Shukran.